Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. I am your humble host, Dave Smith, Pretty Boy Smitty, Protocol Paul, Pearl Game Ultra, Smith Dog Trill, all of the above on that ISET test and that ACT. You know what it is. And we are here for part 2 coverage of the Celebrity Big Brother US Season 2 premiere, ladies and gentlemen. And y'all know me, I'm here to discuss the strategy, and I'm here to discuss it at a high level, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I am glad that I did my pre-ranking, and I'm glad I did it with such a high analytic, from such a high analytic standpoint, because I'm seeing so many things that I predicted coming to fruition. I mean, you're seeing Lolo work with Eva. I said they need each other to make it deep into this game. But when you look at it, they're both in an integral part of the game to control it at this point, ladies and gentlemen. But before I go deeper, I want to make sure, let me get a sound check, ladies and gentlemen. Let me jump into this chat and make sure y'all can hear me correctly. I mean, right? Oh, yeah, y'all can hear me, coach. It's finna get real. Shout outs to the chat. Shout outs to the mighty mods. We're here. We finna get it popping. Did y'all enjoy that? I think in terms of comparing the first part of this premiere to the second part of this premiere, that was leaps and bounds better than what we saw last night. And Eva, let me give Eva her credit where it is due. Y'all might disagree with me in the chat, but I believe Eva may have had the best rebrand from one night to the next in the history of Big Brother premieres. And we've had plenty of 2-night premieres, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we had a 3-night premiere of one of these days. But at the same time, though, the fact that Eva was able to start off so bad in the way that she talked down to Kato Kaelin, and then somehow she's working well with these ladies socially because they included her in. Now, I saw a little bit of a red flag when Tamar was trying to get that 4-top alliance solidified, but she didn't feel the need to make sure that Eva was there in the room to do it. I thought that was a bit of the red flag, the same way I thought Candy saw the same red flag and how Ryan was treating her. But we're going to get into all of that, ladies and gentlemen, okay? We're going to get into all of that. But it was clear as day Tom Green was going on this block, y'all. I mean, it was clear as day. Now, the spoilers that were out, they were saying that Dina was rumored to be on the block with Tom Green. And I'm thinking, there's absolutely no way Dina's on this block. See, if you prescribe to my theory of the Dina John theory being the Marissa Jared Rigaker and Ross Matthews dilemma, the paradox, if you agree that those two comparisons are spot on 1-to-1 ratios, then we all knew production was not gonna let Ryan nominate Dina, especially after they went through all the trouble to be so accommodating with Ryan fucking Lochte. You get him his own little pool to swim in. You know, you reward this guy as if he's some humanitarian or something. Like the last time we didn't see him on our TV screens, he wasn't an Olympic jackass bigot. But I digress. But CBS rewards him for his bigotry. They say, here's a special pool to train in, Ryan. Thanks for being here, bro. Like, you guys are treating him like he's being paid the most. I'm just being honest. So, of course, Ryan's going to repay the favor, the good faith you bestowed upon to him with the pool, and go, oh, John is fighting for Dina not to get put up. And then for John's whack-ass excuse, but to be fair, what excuse could John give the guy that made any sense that didn't give away the pregame alliance, right? So he says something, oh, please don't put up Dina. Lindsay would kill me. Lindsay would kill you? Wasn't this the guy yesterday who acted like he didn't give a fuck about Lindsay Lohan? Wasn't that the guy? And wasn't I the same guy saying, come on, y'all, don't believe this bullshit that he don't give a fuck about the girl who single-handedly changed the route his career went down? That doesn't even make sense, right? So everything I have been shooting on, as the wrestling aficionados would call it, has been spot on up until this point. Hell, I even said Tom Green will end up working with Kato Kaelin. That is happening, okay? And the one thing tonight that really confused me, and see, I knew John would have to work on saving Dina. And see, someone's already said it on Twitter. Shout outs to them. If I don't have your name off the top of my dome, I apologize. But I try to give credit if I remember. But there was someone on my timeline that basically exposed the fact that John is trying to play. Essentially, he's trying to play that what's Homeboy's game? He's trying to play that BB16 game. That not Dan, the officer dude. I forgot his name. Cody completely choke the game. I can't remember. I forgot his name. Derek. There we go. Derek Levasseur. I don't know why I was blanking on his name, but that's what happens when seasons go. I forget about you real quick. But at the end of the day, Derek Levasseur, a lot of people are thinking that this is the type of game John is trying to play. And see, pregame, him and Dina both have said that they're trying to play a floater type game, which a lot of people look at Marissa Jared Rigaker as playing that kind of game. But I can't really say Ross played that kind of game. I think Ross deserves more respect than that. I think people only act like being a floater is a good thing when you win the game as one. I believe when you don't win the game as one, no one ever uses a positive connotation to define it. But in terms of this, though, I 100% believe that John, I think he realized he screwed up, not included Dina in the alliance. But at the end of the day, he couldn't include her in the alliance because she would have felt out of place in it. And the only person you would have connected her to would be John. And they would look like, oh, they're running it, right? So he had to leave her out of it to make Ryan believe he was controlling it. You see where I'm coming from on this? So this is a long con here. And if you believe John didn't throw that HOH competition, you're a fool as well. You mean to tell me you're both down to your last block? And you mean to tell me you walking up the step extra slow to let Ryan just go move on along and knock it up? Like, you didn't even want it, fam. You know, but in the edit, they make it seem as if he was working his hardest. Nah, bruh, you didn't really want that blood. Let's keep it all the way a buck. And now that we know that it's going to be 3 nominees each week, this twist ain't going to last much longer, ladies and gentlemen, anyway. They can't afford to have it last much longer because eventually they're going to have to rig the HOH to someone they prefer, and they don't want all that blood on their hands. And that's probably going to be the first time you see the shit disappear. But that's neither here nor there. Boy, I'm keeping it real. Where was Ricky Williams tonight, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, I swear the first time I saw him was on the couch when someone mentioned Donald Trump. And no, it was Tony Scaramucci, matter of fact, it was Tony Booth doing his daily soundbite for Trump, you know, for CBS correspondence, the political correspondence and whatnot. So he said something like, Julie, Big Brother is much harder than being in the White House, I tell you. Motherfuckers are laughing, like it wasn't all written for them to all like react. You would have thought it was a damn laugh track from back in the day on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or some shit, the way everyone started laughing at that weak-ass joke. I mean, y'all got to do something about the writing department, coach. This DR is very, very, very cringy. I'm just being honest with you. I mean, everyone is partaking in the Ryan Lochte jokes and the puns. It's like, man, just chill out, coach. Just chill out. Just let them be themselves. And you notice the only person that's coming off really effectively in the DR besides Tom Green, who's gone this week, he's pretty much gone. So there's no point talking about how great of a DR guy he is if he's going to be gone in another 3 days. But at the end of the day, Tamar is killing it. And the great thing about her consistently killing it is the fact that she's in on the alliance as well. We were all worried coming into this that they were trying to set up both of these sisters to fight against each other. After last night's episode, we had reason to believe that Kandi was planted here just to go at it with her. And Tamar did nothing to stop those suspicions and paranoia from creeping in even more. But it seems like things are going in the right direction after tonight. I thought tonight felt kind of too good to be true, though, guys. I got to be honest with y'all here. For Lolo to work with Eva, for her to realize that, but at the same time, though, even though it seemed too good to be true, it's also a good thing from a viewer perspective. You know why? Because it shows that every single house guest is actually playing the game to win. You know, this is one of the few seasons at the beginning. I know it's only the first week. Let's not get crazy or nothing. Okay, I get that. But it's rare you see every single house guest noticing the route that they must take to win, and they all go for it on day 1 or the day 2 or day 3, especially during the premiere nights. You rarely ever see everyone realize. Now, we always see big alliances, but how many times do you see splits within the big alliance on the first day the big alliance was created? I mean, there was a 7-person alliance at first, and then Joey Lawrence comes out looking like James Maslow Jr. Like, what are you doing, coach? You see what I'm saying? I'm just going to call you James Maslow Jr. I mean, that's what you're here for. You're here to just be a dick. I mean, who offers you the majority alliance in a game of 12 players? They're offering you basically 7 to guarantee that you have 5 votes in this vote. I mean, that's what that was about. But mind you, that was prior to them realizing there was going to be 3 nominees. So then they would have had to recruit an extra person on top of Joey in the first place for this to even make sense, ladies and gentlemen. So, but then again, let me take it back. Because the extra nominee technically means there's 1 less voter. And if it's 1 less voter, now all you need still, well, I guess it can still be a 4-4 tie, though. In theory. Okay, all right, I talked myself in. Okay, I guess you wouldn't need an extra number per se, but you have to make sure your numbers ain't the one sitting next to you on the block. And the way John has the game by the ass, he can dictate who's on the block. And the way John was describing him and Ryan, I'm trying to talk to my buddy over here. Hey, you're basically giving away your pregame alliance with Ryan here. Thank you. You know, and Tamar also kind of gave away something. She said, I consider Ryan Lochte my little bro. Like, huh? That's when I was like, well, at least she gonna be long for this game. We seen enough pregame alliance that didn't include a black person. We can accept this one. Can we? No, let me stop. It's not good. Pregame alliance isn't good, kids. It's not good, kids. Okay, now if it benefits entertainment, we'll let it rock this season, though. Because that's how a lot of people are feeling right now. They're feeling, you know what? This looks like it's shaping up to be entertaining. So who gives a fuck if it's a little weird why these two are working together over there or that? So what if it's so predictable how all of the most hip and with the most fan base people are all together in this game? Who cares? Because we're getting what we want. We want the people. Well, I guess Tom Green isn't the guy we would want to see go first. And I guess Tony Mooch isn't. You know what? I guess in a way, this first boot is going to feel like a necessary sacrifice for this season to be interesting in the middle. Because we couldn't afford to lose any black players, maybe besides Ricky, I guess, this early. But like I said, Ryan Lochte couldn't be seen as someone that's getting rid of black people. And the way they got Tamar speaking about him like that's her little brother, she's contributing to the rebrand in ways I wish she wouldn't. And the way Candy is reading him is in the ways that I can support. So I'm actually drifting a little further away from Tamar slowly and more into the Candy realm of strategy because I'm starting to see, you know what, out of all the women in this alliance, she's in the best spot. In my opinion, even though you can say that Lolo and Eva have the most power in the alliance, I think John will notice that, right? But he'll never notice Candy being the one person who will survive the longest because of that factor. He will always stay focused on the biggest threat towards him like Ross was, remember? So that's exactly why, and I'd argue that's why Ross lost to Marissa, because he always looked at her as, you know, the girl that he could always beat. The same way John is looking at Dina as the woman he can always beat. But this is very dangerous, John. I got to warn you here, because if you're the one who starts the alliance, right, you make promises to Ryan Lochte that he's like the muscle and you're like the brains. Now he thinks you're going final two with him. If you cut his neck, a la Dan versus Frank Hootie, and that wasn't even really an alliance. That was really just some makeshift shit so Dan could stay after some solitary confinement and a funeral. Okay, so at the end of the day, you started this alliance. You made promises to Ryan that we all know you're probably not going to keep because you prefer Dina, clearly, because you were unwilling to sacrifice her. See, that's how you know Ryan doesn't understand the game. See, if Ryan understood the game, he would tell him, you know what, you got to prove yourself to me by sacrificing Dina in this vote right here. Because then I'll know you're not working with no one else and you're working with me and you're all in on me and you in the final two. Okay? Because Dina don't serve no other purpose. Oh, but man, she's an extra vote. So none of the people in our 7-person alliance can be our extra vote. Come on now. See, that's the comeback you would use if you knew the game. But it's almost like Ryan is just folding. And like I said before, that swimming pool, okay, swimming pool gate, you know, that's what's keeping him at bay. He can't afford to piss them off. They're going to cut off the engine on that motherfucker, and he going to be swimming in the walls after that. They're going to cut the motor off on his ass. He was like, I'm thinking about backdooring Dina. That shit eliminated from battle. Motherfucker going to be in the movie Concussion 2 with Will Smith. You feel it, dig me? Be fucked up. But no, let me stop, though. But yeah, man, 100%, man. You know, I thought this episode was really good, though. It was good to see a lot of different things unfold. We still haven't got to a veto competition yet, but I'm going to be honest with you. The edit tonight felt like a Tom Green farewell party. It felt like they gave him all of those best moments they would have never really gave him if he wasn't in trouble. Can we be honest with ourselves? See, we're veterans of the edgic, as Stephen Fishback would say. We're experts on this. We're experts at reading certain things out, right? So Tom Green got a lot of confessionals that were out of place, kind of, sort of. He got a lot of spots that humanized him that were out of place, kind of, sort of. And it really felt like they had to jam-pack a whole bunch of Tom Green content in this episode because they know he's leaving Friday and only got one more episode on Wednesday. And yesterday's wasn't really about him because it was about the whole cast. It felt like this one was the episode to tell us who was going home. I think Tom won't last for long in this game, and I think that's mainly because the people who he is working with include the guy that's sitting next to him, Tony Mooch. So he's lost a vote there immediately, which will lead to Tony Mooch trying. Well, in reality, Tony Mooch already has Dina Lohan's vote, and she's not going to vote out John. So who is Dina going to vote out? Ding, 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 Tom. So you're going to see probably a majority vote towards Tom this week on Friday. That's a huge, I mean, it's not really like a wonder prediction or nothing, but hey, I was the guy after last night's edit that said Tom was in trouble. So clearly I'm the one guy who could predict it now. Really, I ain't even predicting it now. I'm almost just doubling down on what I already said. But y'all get my point. Tom, he's not long for this game. So I'm glad he's emptying the holster and just shitting on people on his way out, though. Do your thing, Tom. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? This just wasn't the season for you, unfortunately. I think you suffered from the fact that it was only one comedian. I think if you put a female comedian in the game as well, I think everyone is a little bit more light, you know? But right now, this game has got a real serious tone to it. I'm loving it. But yeah, so all right, so yeah, but get back to Joey Lawrence though, because I really want to break down how idiotic this is. Now, people are saying, "Oh, he turned down the alliance because he don't want to be in this game. He wants to go home. He did that on purpose so they would send him out the door." Well, my nigga, how about you self-evict then? I bet he ain't doing that because he want that $100K. Why then? How about you at least volunteer to go up? You feel me? You saw the way Tom Green didn't want to be up there. You saw the way Tony Mooch didn't want to be up there. But see, I think deep down Ryan Lochte don't want that smoke from Joey though. If Joey stay, I think that's what it is. I think he's just looking at it as who's the easiest guy I could get out, and there will be limited repercussions. Let's go for the two old guys. I mean, he was gonna target an old woman, so it just goes to show that Ryan's idea of the first HOH is smart in the fact that he's trying to limit his blood. So he did stick to his excuse in the confessionals. But if you're also trying to limit blood, you still nominate Dina though. Because who do you piss off except John? That's not maximum blood. But by nominating Tom and who the ladies revealed that they would backdoor. And I thought that was interesting. Why backdoor Tom? I thought that was very interesting. They're not talking about backdooring Joey. You would naturally think Joey would be more of a power of veto threat. I don't know. But that was interesting as well that I found. But yeah, Joey, he doesn't even want to be here, man. It's funny. Ryan Lochte has more passion for this game, even if his passion is manufactured by production. He still has a little bit more passion. The only problem I got with Ryan Lochte really is his confessionals. Pay attention. He has no enthusiasm or confidence. You could tell he's reading from something. Okay? You can tell, you know? And you can tell he's probably in a rush to get back swimming and eating, so they don't make him do too many takes, because the takes that they airing, coach, are bad, coach. They as bad as BB-15 airing, coach. Ooh, I'm spitting bars tonight on Tantra game on point. Y'all know how it gets down. But yeah, man, production, I'm not okay with the way you're accommodating this dude. If that's the case, go ahead and accommodate everybody. You feel it, dig me? Like, come on, fam. Like, that's just not fair to me. Then he ends up being the first HOH, and there's no proof that they gave him that pool before he chose not to nominate Dina. For all we know, that could have been an under-the-table deal. Don't nominate Dina for John, and we'll give you this pool. And we've seen, and I've exposed multiple times, that they don't necessarily put all of these events in chronological order, ladies and gentlemen. So that's another thing that we got to be wary of as well. Okay? I wasn't okay with how Tamar was very paranoid with Candy in this episode. I think Tamar needs to understand that Candy ain't sweating this game like she is. Candy ain't no super fan. But see, like I think Tamar has to think like a Big Brother super fan. If put it this way, if I was casting a new season of Big Brother, and then a homie I used to rock with that I don't really rock with no more pop up, and I know he never watched this show when we used to kick it, I'm thinking, he a ringer to get me out. You feel what I'm saying? He's here to nullify me. You feel me? So I can get that. But at the same time, though, I would still have to compartmentalize and realize that this person is the best ally I'm ever going to have in this game. you know, especially if they were my friend some point in real life. There's a certain level of trust there no one else in these 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks can achieve that we've built up already. Okay, so it's clearly reconcilable on those two ladies' part. And with this Four Tops alliance, don't really like the name too much. Oh, and I didn't really break down the other side of the alliance as well, because isn't there also an alliance with Eva, Lolo, Ryan, and John as well? I believe they got their 4 part of the alliance too. So it's kind of like 4 here, 4 there, and 2 overlap, which gives Lolo and Eva that power. I think it's very interesting what they do. And like I said, Eva had the best reform out of anyone from night to night. So I think she's looking like she's going to be a huge problem later in the game. I think she's going to be a huge fan favorite by a lot of women that may have written her off last night. I think she might be in their favorite chair. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because right now she's showing herself to be someone that could have that Tamar game awareness, but she's in a bigger power position and she's less visibly excited to be in the position itself, right? So when you see her, you don't know if she's thinking of ways to screw you. Whereas with Tamar, based off her excitement that I spoke on in the last rant, you don't know how far down the line she's thinking. And Tamar, you got to be careful talking to Lolo about backdooring people, okay? You don't want to give none of these folks the idea you think backdooring is all fair and game, because then when they do you like that, trust me, CBS will fuck your edit up and make you look like the biggest hypocrite with a flashback scene. Y'all know what happened to Bailey, okay? And if this happens, just man, look, if this happens, man, I could just see the future, coach. I don't know. I don't know, coach. If this happens too, I can see the future. But that's how I can see this unfolding. So beware of that too, Tamar. Beware of that too. Don't be too gung-ho about devising plans that involve backdoors, because before you know it, let's blackdoor her ass. I'm just saying. Okay? But yeah, so you know, the edit definitely was designed to make John look like the storyteller. Like I told y'all, this show, this cast was picked to be designed as. It's pretty clear as day. And I'm not really, outside of everything that I've discussed so far, I'm not really that shocked how the game is going. But I am thoroughly impressed with how everyone is assessing their win conditions, approaching everything with their win conditions in mind, and they're not compromising their win conditions, even if it means being flexible with some decision making, if that makes any sense. Because these players, you know, I'm pretty sure Lolo and Eva, you know, I'm pretty sure they look at each other and go, look, on a standard season, we wouldn't be celebrities. You know, people wouldn't know about our private lives. We would have 2 guys designed by casting for us to win the house. We'd probably go at it with each other. It's good to see archetypes that's normally picked to go at it join forces. I think that's why we like a Celebrity Big Brother US season. It's almost like watching the Avengers. It's like watching just a different test tube subject go at it. But another thing I want to mention, because I forgot to mention this earlier, I don't appreciate how they're in the confessionals. They're making Lolo compare Ryan Lochte. It was Ryan, wasn't it? No. It was Joey. She compared Joey Lawrence's indecisiveness to dating men. And see, when you've already planted the seed that she's the virgin of the cast, shouldn't she be the last one that does those type of comparisons, those type of innuendos, if you get me? I just felt like that was just the wrong skill set for them to give her. You know, I mean, that was the wrong role for them to give her, basically. You know, but outside of that, though, I really like this episode, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into answering questions. I would love to hear what y'all think about today's episode. I pretty much drilled a hole in everything that I wanted to discuss. But there's one more thing I wanted to mention. Yes. See, this is why you write notes, ladies and gentlemen. You write notes for this on purpose. Did y'all notice how when John was talking to Ryan, and Ryan was trying to target Dina, remember what Ryan kept saying? He said, I'm trying to get out Deanna. You know, he was pronouncing her name wrong. Notice how John kept correcting him and kept saying her name is Dina. Come on, man. When you correct somebody in that way, You were showing them your loyalty is to them because you defending their honor. When you defend someone's name, you defend their honor, bro. And that was a little too habitual on his part. It was almost involuntary. Like, he does this shit all the time at parties. I defend the Lohans. Like, he was bout it. You feel me? And for Ryan to cave in, we know why he caved in to fix his in. But it definitely feels like some deja vu shit is popping off. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get it popping, and let's start answering questions. So I'm on my way to the chat room. And also, I want to admit that Tamar seems to be the only person through confessional that has admitted that it was very suspicious how John kept Dina off the block. That is something important for us to take note of as well, ladies and gentlemen, because that means that their rivalry, this could be the beginning of it. When it's that supercut that winds up on YouTube and it's like an hour long of an entire season of two people going at it, we'll remember this moment. This episode was the beginning of all of it, okay? Because I believe these two were picked at some point to bump heads based off of their strategic acumen. So now, on my way, let's get to this chat room. And let's see what y'all think about tonight's episode, man. I know y'all got some hot takes out here, coach. Strategic acumen. So now, on my way, dang. I always pop in on myself. Okay, bet. Oh, we got questions already. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, because these episodes are so close together, I'm going to try to answer questions very often. And the reason for that is because it's a lot less work that I have to do outside of the rants. So I want to include you all a lot more on the celebrity side of it, because I think people are more emotional about celebrities than they are about normal people as it is. But anyway, let's answer this question from Ghost Hunter 2010. Shout outs to the mighty mod himself or herself. Ghost Hunter, it's very unisex of a name. But anyway, is it possible that Joey did what he did to keep his options open for later in the game? I think that's very plausible. But when you hear a number like 7 are trying to come together and you decide not to join said 7, and you don't decide to align with the other 5, then you're an idiot, because you're not even trying to make it 6 versus 6. So you don't even give a fuck. That's my answer to that question. If he truly tried to stay here longer in the game, he would have got the other 5 together, and he would have at least made them aware of what's going on around them. But it seems like he doesn't even want to play a role in the game, for better or for worse. He's almost just neutral. He's indifferent. He could care less. So that's just how I'm looking at it. Because think about it. If you were in his position and you turned down a big alliance like that, you would only turn it down to destroy it from the start. You would moving company it, right? Okay. So that's my answer to that. Yeah, but 7 is too big of an alliance, don't you think? I agree it's too big of an alliance. But when the game is only 2 weeks long, you got to agree to that 7-person alliance today, because it's going to change tomorrow. Shit, tomorrow someone's gone. You know how the celebrity Big Brother structure is. So you got to say yes to everything, especially in this type of a season, because of the small, not only the small margin of error, but the small time. It's not as much dead time in these type of seasons as normal seasons. So in these type of seasons, even more so than others, you got to really make sure you don't piss nobody off in a bottle, because if you piss them off in a small amount of time, they're going to remember that, because it's only 2 weeks later. It's only 14 days ago you pissed them off. You think they're going to reward you with their vote when you pissed them off 2 weeks ago? Enough hasn't really happened physically to them. They're going to remember. Whereas in a normal standard season of Big Brother, that could happen 60 days ago to you. And you might think, you know what, man, I don't give a fuck, man. I stopped watching. You know, you might have that perspective. So that's my answer to that question, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's only like 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Selena for life for coming through doing the thug thizzle. Marlena Smith comments, the Candy and Tamar beef is real, but I hope they put it aside, and I think Candy will pretend to, because she was just getting dragged on social media for how she treated Portia. But Tamar can hold a grudge. Oh, that's some inside fastball stuff right there. I don't know who Portia is. I'm a casual. What can I say? Melody Davis Joyce asked the question. Another returning sub. Nice to see you, returning viewer. Because Candy is so woke, do you think she will peep Lolo's 2-person alliance before it's too late? I think she definitely will, but knowing Candy, she's going to be more so all in with the girls' idea, because I think she feels less comfortable aligning with the men as opposed to all the other 3. I think all the other 3 feel like they're flexible enough to pull men in and do something else on the side, like John is doing with Dina already. So I think everyone else is more comfortable with having that +1 kind of game. I think Kandi right now is in a situation where she has to rely on Tamar to stay loyal to her, and she has to rely on those relationships that the other 3 girls build right now to allow her to have some type of a parachute. That way, when shit gets real, at least those 3 will be hit first. And maybe she can slide her way to the end and have the right compelling speech. And maybe she'll be someone that never pissed anyone off and could be rewarded with the game. You know, there's a lot of ways Kandi could fuck around and win this game. As long as she keeps her emotions in check, she continues to read people effectively the way she read Ryan, because that's very the way she read Ryan is so important, because for a lot of Black people in general, we know what that feeling feels like, where it feels like we're being left out at the workplace, for instance, where it feels like soon as we come into the fucking break room, all of a sudden no one wants to talk about the fucking episode of Jerry Springer on the TV. You know what we talking about. So for her to understand that and keep that smile on her face, like she's interested in what, that's good. That's good. But that's her reality TV training up until this point. That's also at play as well. So she might be the perfect person to make amends for what Keisha Knight Pulliam pulled off last season, or lack thereof didn't pull off last season. So that's what I'm hoping for. And I do think Kandi, once again, I think she will last longer than Tamar in the long run, because I think Tamar, because you saw how John approached Ryan. He basically said, we have to bring Kandi and Tamar because they have a thing. Like they have a thing. And it sounded real bizarre how he broke that down. I didn't know if he were saying we got to include them because they're clearly going to end up targeting each other at some point and it's going to save both of our games, or if he was saying we have to bring both of them because we can't just have one of them. Because I'd argue if they would have just brought in Tamar would be like, okay, right? She would be like, oh, for sure. You feel what I'm saying? So something tells me John might be more willing to work with Kandi than Tamar. Maybe he sees the threat of Tamar early, as well as Tamar seeing his threat by him saving Dina. So I'm thinking maybe it might be John, his long con, is keeping Kandi close in this alliance because he knows that a split can be created between the 2 of them. And also, we got to take into account he's production's pet of the season. They're going to let him know through the DR, whether that be blatantly or maybe subtly through certain type of word phrasing, the way they lead through questioning, they're going to make him aware of there being some type of prior incident or problem between the 2 of these sisters. And the moment he knows that, we're going to see him work on Kandi. And that's when we'll know he's been tipped off, because I doubt Kandi will be dumb enough to tell any of them she has a problem with her unless both of them are on the block together, and vice versa. So that's my answer to that question. It's a little long-winded, but I'm very excited because I think Kandi, if she were to allow John to think he's manipulating her, and that turned into Tamar leaving, Tamar would blame John for that, not Kandi, because she would think Kandi doesn't know the game, whereas she would blame John, who knows the game. John, let's say he's taking Dina to the end and he thinks Candy's a walk. Oh, I'm a dog walker at the end. That's just a word everyone's using right now for various reasons, but you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to use it. But so let's say he's thinking, oh, I'll just take Kandi with me to the final 3 with Dina. Kandi could pull off that fucking upset somehow, some way, go to the end with Dina and win the damn game. And then everyone's like, sis, queen. You feel me? So there's a lot of different ways this game can play out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to keep y'all as excited as I feel inside. And I'm sure y'all can tell I'm excited. I ain't looked at much notes. I really haven't. You feel me? Because I know, based off of how these first 2 nights started, that production is at least trying to go for the entertainment angle over, oh, let's do everything we can to protect the people we can and make them seem perfect. No, by them showing that shit on TV with John telling Ryan Lochte, hey, you're my number 2. You know what? This could be a long con. This could be a double bluff by CBS. What if they're using John to make this deal with Ryan? That way when he backstabs Ryan now looks like a hero. Now Ryan all of a sudden looks like the guy who opposed the mean bully. Wait a minute. Hold up. Is this the long con, CBS? Are y'all trying to rebrand Ryan Lochte by assuring John screws him in the final 6, coach? Go back to this video and that shit happens too. You know, I'm throwing out hella predict. I'm on fire, coach. You feel me? Nothing but 7s at the casino. All right. We got another question from Miss Aquarian Queen. She asks, if the veto is used on one of the nominees, who would Ryan put up as a replacement? What I think is, I think if the veto were to be used on John, I think no one gets put up in his place. I think it's going to be kind of like, what was that, the MVP twist that was like that, where you take that third person off and it's just two people, but if you take one of the other two off that wasn't part of that twist, then it stays three. I think it's going to be more so that. And I think production's going to go out of their way to tell Ryan, hey, you like that pool? You like the setting we got it on this today, right? All right. You better take John off, or we're going to put it on low. I mean, it sounds so crazy, but I can see a simple guy like Ryan going, hey, I need that shit on high, coach. I'm going to take him off. I got this. You know? And if this veto has to do with water at all, we gonna know the fixes in, coach. We gonna know it immediately, ain't we? Like, for really though. All right, let me look at the question. They say, great question, Ghost. With the time limit on the show, do you think that they, by the way, this is from Ghost Hunter. With the time limit on the show, do you think they can keep the episodes interesting to us, the fans? Yeah, definitely. And I think it's because the time limit is short. I think the thing that the main Big Brother season has a problem with, it drags because it's so long. And it's like a damn marathon. Whereas this is like a little bottle rocket of a sprint, right? You get 2 weeks of everyone talking celebrity Big Brother, and then they all come back out and enjoy their money and get back to their lives. And the great thing about them, as opposed to the other Big Brother alumni, is they ain't looking for clout after it because they already had clout before, right? So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun. And another thing I like about Big Brother Celebrity, the way they have it with this style, is they let everyone go home each time they're eliminated. There is no sequester. They just come back and vote for who they want. I think that's how it works. So I like that, you know. And I think that also, at the end of the day, I feel like when you celebrities, you shouldn't have to sequester motherfuckers. You know, it's rigged for Marissa Gerald Redeker anyway, whether you go sequester niggas or not. They still can go, hey, you want an extra 5? You want an extra 5, coach? You know what I'm saying? You want that stipend, coach? All right, man. You know what to do. MJ Dub. You know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. You feel the dignity? But no, though. Let me see. Let me see if there's some more questions, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that's the same question I just asked. Same question I just asked. Let's see. Anybody else got any questions? I want Tom to stay, but I don't think he will. Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's absolutely no way Tony Mooch leaves for the exact same reason Dina couldn't get on the block next to him. It's because at the end of the day, they need Tony Mooch for his sound bites. And that's why they forced a sound bite of Tom Green discussing Trump so they could get the best of both of those worlds in case one of them went out, because they both knew that John was staying over both of them. You feel what I'm saying? So that was a long con on that edit trick too. You know what I'm saying? It was like, hey, this is smart. This is economical of us to put this fucking thing in the edit. You know what I'm saying? Kill 2 birds, 1 stone. Yeah. Okay, we got another question, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think would be the replacement, Dave, if it is used? Okay, all right. Put it this way: if it's used on John, there isn't a replacement, so it has to be the other 2. So if it's used, I don't see Ryan using it on the other 2. So it would have to be someone else that won it that isn't a nom, because John uses it on himself as well. Or I guess Tom or Tony won. They would use it on themselves, and then someone would come on the block. I would say probably Kato Kalin. Mainly because, well, no, production will want to protect him as well. They couldn't have him next to Tony Mooch and John. Ooh, that's probably the worst case scenario for them week 1 in terms of what they want from each person from a storytelling perspective. So they would probably push him towards Joey Lawrence easily. They would say, all right, Joey, here's your point. Here's your part. Lay on your sword. Give us a good soundbite of why you should be backdoored right here. Do some dumb shit, you know, so we could save all of these other guys, you know. So it would definitely be Joey Lawrence. It would definitely, because the more and more I think about it, that's the only choice that makes any sense for CBS to pull off. Everybody else, they still have a part to play, a role to play in this season going forward. So that's my answer to that question, ladies and gentlemen. Marlena Smith asked the question, if Dina wins HOH, who would she put up? Well, Ryan tried to put her up. John would have to not tell Dina this. He would have to hide it from her. But Tamar, if she's smart, she uses this information at some point to get Dina to maybe turn on Ryan. I don't know. I doubt Dina would put up Ryan, though, because that's another production's pet. They would probably protect him. You know, that's a tough call. I'd say Dina most likely. She's not going to put up Tony Mooch. I could see Dina actually targeting women. The reason why I say that is, well, actually, she can't really target women because they're in John's alliance. Wow. Hold on. Yeah, because the only woman that's not in John's alliance besides her is who's the other woman in the game that's not in the alliance? Lolo. I can't even remember who the last woman is. Ain't it one more woman? Yeah, it's the 4 that's in the alliance plus Dina and someone else. Hold on, let me look through my notes real quick. It's always good to look at these notes. Who am I missing? Candy, Eva. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, it's 5 women, 7 dudes. I thought it was 6-6. Interesting. So that might be why this dude is targeting men. Are they trying to even it out? Make it 5-5? I'm glad I actually looked at that. I didn't know it was 7-5 here. Interesting. No, she's the only woman not on there. Yeah, I just figured that out, Aquarian Queen. That's interesting. So honestly, her being the only woman that wasn't included on this alliance, I could see that making her outright targeting the women by that alone. Because from the men perspective, who is an easy target for her to put up that isn't in her age range? Yeah, you could probably say Joey Lawrence, but at the same time, the way these HOHs work, Dina would have to be on a pair with someone to win it in the first place, then beat that person head to head. Do you see Dina doing that? I think she's more likely to be a nominee than she is to be a fucking HOH with this twist. The only way she wins an HOH, coach, is when this twist goes away. Hot take alert. Hot take alert. You feel me? Unless it's some AB shit that they Marissa Jarrett rig occurred and gave it answers. Okay, this is the order. A, B, B, C, D. Shut your dumb ass up. You feel me? Like, that's what they be giving her, boy. All of the above. You feel what I mean? But no, though. So that's my answer to that question, ladies and gentlemen. BMG Sims asked the question, did you notice Dina had a wine bottle in her intro like Brandy? I did not notice that, but I thought the intro was pretty fly, though. I thought it was pretty fly. Thomas the Talker says Ricky barely appeared in the episode. I agree. He's getting a purple Ricky edit. He's getting a purple Ricky edit. It's like he doesn't exist, which goes back to my problem with production and casting. You pick a guy like him to represent heterosexual black men, and he's not even enthusiastic for his archetype, you know, as a celebrity. You know, once again, it's by design. They wanted a docile, straight black man. You know, they didn't want someone that was going to drive any of the narrative. And Ricky is perfectly fine not even being part of the narrative. So it is what it is, man. It's sad for me because I don't have nobody from a male perspective that I'm like, you know, feel me? That's why all you can do is hope Candy and Tamar can compensate for what we're missing from that department. You know what I mean? But that's how you feel about Lolo, huh? They might put a puzzle in it to rig it for him. That's possible as well, coach. That's possible as well. Jay says Dina is going to get dragged along. Exactly. I agree with you 100%. She says she wanted to float. And what easier way to float than to be left out of the majority alliance to just be sitting there. And each time your name comes up, John is going to continuously ruining his jury case to win the game to protect her each time. And see, that's why I'm saying to John, do you really think you're going to be able to win this game if you're the one who started this alliance, then you implode it from within while dragging Dina with you? You think all of them are going to look at you as, hey, he's the guy? Because people forget, Derek Levasseur didn't start that alliance that he was in his season. I believe that was Devin on his power trip that started it, and Derek just took control of it by getting out Devin the week after, right? Ain't that how it happened? So at the end of the day, so it's a little different when you turn on everyone and you didn't start everything and you kind of just it was bestowed upon you over time. That's a little different. If you inherit the power as opposed to starting an alliance and then crumbling it up yourself, people will resent you for that because they'll think, oh, you've been playing with me since the start, you know? But see, I don't know, man. I got a feeling, though, they're going to figure out a way to make sure John is painted in a light that Ross wasn't to get him the win for playing in a Ross way. That's what this season feels like. John reminds me of a guy I used to see on Doctor Who, LOL. I hope to God nobody quits. I agree with that. Ricky is hitting the weed oil pins. Oh, really? He and that motherfucker lit. That's why he ain't getting no work. He ain't talking to nobody. He's stuck in that. Like, let me stop, man. Let me stop. All right, Dave from Ghost Hunter. Isn't that a good thing that Ricky Williams isn't being noticed in the house right now? It is a good thing, but it isn't a good thing. Because I've always said there's only two ways for a black person to make it to the end when you're a straight black man on Big Brother US. Be a complete buffoon or idiot, or you pretty much do absolutely nothing, okay? Now, if this is Ricky Williams, now maybe Ricky Williams saw some Big Brother Canada. He saw Brother Godfrey get down, and he's like, all right, I'm going to fall asleep on these weed oil pins. I'm going to take me some Kush naps. You know, for every week for the next 4 weeks, I'm gonna take a Kush nap here and there. You feel me? Feeds ain't up yet. They ain't gonna keep us up. They gonna let us sleep for now. All right, and a week from now, 2 motherfuckers gonna be gone, and I'm gonna have a good spot in the game. Maybe that's how he's thinking. I doubt it, but maybe that's how he's thinking. But one thing is for sure, though, man, no one is rooting for Ricky right now. And in a celebrity season, you know there's gonna be something at play that involves the American vote. And that's why I think Ricky is going to be at a huge detriment. He's going to be a huge disadvantage. He won't be in any contention. But to be fair, this might be good for Tamar and Candy that the black vote won't be split amongst 3 people. So maybe the glass is half full in the long run. Maybe those 2 ladies do benefit from Ricky being so incompetent. Maybe. Because if you had a brother like me in that game with 2 sisters that was that competent in this game, I'd argue we'd be the 3 biggest threats in the motherfucker. So maybe it is a good thing for the sisters. Do your thing. You feel what I mean? But no. Don't pay the people who quit. LOL, Godfrey came to him in a vision. I don't know. Maybe he did, coach. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Recency Bias Radio Rant for part 2 of the Celebrity Big Brother US Season 2 premiere. I will be back here tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, to discuss the veto episode. We're going to figure out how Tom Cruise got, I said Tom Cruise, my bad, coach, how Tom Green's got screwed. See, that's how I got that kind of messed up. How Tom Green got screwed over, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to be here tomorrow with all of you. So if you could, please like, share, and subscribe. And on my channel's right side, click on that bell so you could be here with the most lit live chat in Big Brother Celebrity US history, bar none. Once again, I am your humble host, Dave Smith, and this is Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. This was the 4th rant of Celebrity Big Brother US 2 entitled We Ain't Tight Like That. And y'all have a great night. I'm out.